Maryland Supreme Court orders new hearing on vacating murder conviction for Adnan Syed. A Baltimore court hearing held in 2022 that vacated Adnan Syed's murder conviction and set him free must be redone, the Maryland Supreme Court ruled according to its opinion released Friday. The High Court's 4-3 ruling upholds an appellate court's reinstatement of Syed's murder conviction in 2000 in connection with the 1999 killing of his high school ex-girlfriend, Hae-Min Lee. Syed, 43, was sentenced to life in prison plus 30 years. The ruling also orders a new vacatur hearing be held, and that the court must ensure the victim's family receives a reasonable opportunity to attend. PDF. Read the Supreme Court's opinion released Friday. The hearing held in 2022 vacated Syed's murder conviction and set him free based on a request from city prosecutors due to flawed evidence, and prosecutors dropped all charges. While the Supreme Court upheld the reinstatement of Syed's conviction, it made no changes to his release. At the time, Lee's brother, young Lee, argued he didn't receive enough notice to attend the hearing in person, but he did attend virtually. Syed's lawyer, Erica Souter, has argued that the state did meet its obligation by allowing young Lee's brother to participate in the hearing via video conference. In March 2023, the Appellate Court of Maryland ordered a redo of the hearing and reinstated Syed's conviction. Syed appealed his conviction's reinstatement, and the Lee family also appealed to the state's highest court, contending that crime victims should be given a larger role in the process of vacating a conviction. The Supreme Court heard arguments from both sides in October 2023. The Supreme Court's opinion states young Lee did not receive reasonable notice of the vacatur hearing, writing, "The prosecutor and the circuit court worked an injustice against Mr. Lee by failing to treat him with dignity, respect, and sensitivity." The opinion said the notice was deficient because it did not give Mr. Lee sufficient time to make arrangements to travel cross-country for the hearing. The notice also was deficient because it failed to state the location of the hearing, other than describing it as in person, and implied that Mr. Lee's only option was to observe the hearing remotely. For these reasons, the notice Mr. Lee received of the vacatur hearing was not reasonable and therefore violated his rights under law. Syed's attorneys argued that the family's appeal is moot because prosecutors decided not to charge Syed again after his conviction was vacated. The Supreme Court's opinion released Friday said the entry of a nolla prosequi by the state's attorney did not moot the appeal by the crime victim's representative of an order vacating Syed's conviction. A prosecutor may not use the nolle pros power to divest a victim of the right to appeal what the victim contends is an unlawful vacatur order, the opinion stated. Attorneys representing the Lee family released a statement saying, "The Maryland Supreme Court today definitively reaffirms crime victims' rights to be treated with dignity, respect, and sensitivity, rights enshrined in the Maryland State Constitution. The Supreme Court acknowledges what Hae-Min Lee's family has argued. Crime victims have a right to be heard in court. In this case, that means the family of murder victim Hae-Min Lee had the right to reasonable notice in order to attend and meaningfully participate in the criminal justice proceedings involving Adnan Syed, the person accused and convicted of Lee's murder. Significantly, the Lee family will now have the right to address the merits of the vacatur motion after the prosecution and the defense have made their presentations in support of that motion. If there is compelling evidence to support vacating the conviction of Adnan Syed, we will be the first to agree. To date, the public has not seen evidence which would warrant overturning a murder conviction that has withstood appeals for over 2 decades. The burden remains on the prosecution and the defense to make their case. So far, they have not done so. This isn't the first time Maryland's highest court has taken up Syed's protracted legal rulings. In 2019, a divided court ruled 4-3 to deny Syed a new trial. While the court agreed with a lower court that Syed's legal counsel was deficient in failing to investigate an alibi witness, it disagreed that the deficiency prejudiced the case. That ruling came after a lower court ordered a retrial in 2016 on grounds that Syed's attorney, Cristina Gutierrez, who died in 2004, didn't contact an alibi witness and provided ineffective counsel. In November 2019, the U.S. Supreme Court declined to review the decision by Maryland's top court. Syed has maintained his innocence and has often expressed concern for Lee's surviving relatives. Syed's case was chronicled in the Serial podcast, which debuted in 2014 and drew millions of listeners.